Thanks for joining me today. So I have another easy card for you today. It's a fun fold. We actually did it together a couple of weeks ago. It was for volume 5. And I had promised that in a couple of weeks I was going to decorate it for you. So let's get started. So this was a card that we made together. I had given you all the dimensions. If you want to take a screenshot, I'll zoom that in for you. Center that, there we go. And basically how this opens is, you've got this, let me take this piece off, this little flap here, and you can also do this horizontally. It doesn't have to be vertical, depends on what your sentiment is and what your focal image is. My focal image is a portrait image, so we'll be doing it in portrait. And hang around, I'll show you 2 other cards that I had made using that same exact design, just different papers and designer series paper. In today's card, I'm going to be featuring the framed florets, stamp set, and also the dies. I've already taken the die out that I'm going to be using, which is this beautiful die here. So let's set that aside. And I've got my evening evergreen here. So this is just a scrap piece that we're going to use to cut out the die. Set that aside. And I have my other pieces all prepped and ready and cut. My card base measures 4 1/4 by 8 inches, and it's scored down at 2 1/2. And then I have the outer layer, which is going to go here, and that's 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. I have a piece of designer series paper, and this measures 2 1/4 by 4 inches. How I did this was I cut it out from the inside of this piece, which will go on the inside, and you won't see the this cut out because we're going to put a piece of basic white over that. And the basic white piece measures 3 5/8 by 4 3/4. The designer series paper measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. So I'm going to start stamping first, I think. We'll have some evening evergreen. And I am using for a special person on a special day, a birthday card. I need so many birthday cards lately. I don't know, March just seems to be a very busy month for birthdays. All right, so we're going to just center that right about here. I think I moved it a little. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. I thought I moved it. Done with that. Of course, I forgot to use my stamping mat, my Pierce mat, but it came out okay. So let me start by adhering this to the inside. We'll get most of the gluing done, and then we'll go to the die cutting and putting the card together. So this is a very basic layout. I mean, this is perfect for the beginning stamper because you don't need that many pieces. And if you don't want to add the die cut, you don't have to do that either. You can do another focal image. You can just stamp an image on the front. Or if you're using designer series paper, you can even fussy cut something out of the designer series paper. So many options. Now, if you are interested in this designer series paper that I am using, unfortunately it has retired, but the stamp set and the dies are still available. And if there's anything that you'd like to order, my shopping information is in the description below the video. You'll find all the links, as well as if you're interested in receiving my newsletter, please be sure to click that to sign up for my newsletter. I try to send out one newsletter a week, you know, with things that are happening, and also monthly. I try to do one depending on what's going on in my life. Oh, I don't think this is cut correctly. I think I cut this piece a little bit too small. Let's see, this needs to be 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. Oh, this looks like it is too small. All right, we're just gonna have to make it work. You'll be able to see I didn't want to see any of the white peeking out, but obviously it is peeking out. All right, so you just want to add glue to the top part here. Otherwise, you're going to glue the card together. So we'll just put a little bit up on top here. Not going past that area. I'm going to try to center this as best as possible so that the white is showing equally on both sides, even though I didn't want it to show at all. That's okay. All right, so that is done. No, I don't think I need my paper trimmer. All right, let's bring the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and use this. I think I should be able to fit this die in there. Let's see. I'm going to lay my dryer sheet down because I am using an intricate die. So these pieces, once they cut out from the cardstock, will remain on the dryer sheet. So it makes it so much easier for cleaning up. Otherwise they get stuck on the die and then you have to poke them all out. And remember, we have to offset this a little, otherwise it doesn't grab in the little one for whatever reason, not sure why. I might have to, something tells me I don't have that top plate on all the way, and it may not cut all the way through. I think it's off to the right side. It is. So let's finish doing this. So I don't think it's going to cut all the way through on the left side. I wish I had seen that before, but I didn't. Turn this to the side here. Pull that out. Let's line this back up. And we'll send it one more time, go through. You know, I think this die is too big for the mini, maybe. Let's see if it cut out. Maybe it cut it. Oh, it did cut it. Okay. All right, it worked. So watch this now. Oh, it didn't cut on the other side. Isn't that funny? All right, let's bring the big one in, just to be safe. I think that die is just a little too wide for the mini. All right, there we go. Okay. So watch as I peel this off. Most of the pieces will stay in on the dryer sheet. Pretty cool. So I hope you've tried that before. And you can reuse this dryer sheet, you know, a few times. But you got all the little pieces stuck on it. And there are none stuck on the die. All right, so let's put this down now. Let me add this down. So I find there's two ways that you can adhere these intricate dies. One is you can take your fine tip glue and just, go on the areas where it's a little bit wider. You don't really need to do the whole thing. Or you can use your silicone mat, add a little glue to that, and then with the sponge, just dab the edges. So we'll add a little glue here. And what's nice about the silicone mat is that once this dries up, you can just peel it right off. So it's cool. So we'll just add a little bit around the edge. Add this to the front. Make sure I have it centered. Well, actually, it's not going to be centered because I forgot I cut the piece too small. So if you are cutting this piece, the evening evergreen, correctly, this won't be hanging off. All right, so we're going to set that aside. Next, we're going to do some heat embossing with the, so Stampin' Up! Sells the embossing essentials tools. This is not from Stampin' Up! The embossing buddy is. I mean, I've had this for years. And the embossing powder is, but this is a tray very similar to what Stampin' Up! Has. And it comes with the tray, the reverse tweezers, a brush, and the embossing buddy. So it's really a nice set to have. All right, so now I have gold and silver. I think I'm going to go with the gold. And I've already gone ahead and fussy cut this from the designer series paper, which is going to go down here. So I want to make sure that my sentiment is more towards the top, right around there. Okay. Get my pierce net out since I forgot to use it before. Make sure I use it this time. I've got my Versamark here. Oh, guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to use the embossing buddy. After I just told you about it, right? So what the embossing buddy does is, let's say I have glue or, oils on my hands. It has a resin and it just takes all that off. Let me make sure I'm getting this on the right side. This is the right side. All right. Done. So let's ink that up with the Versamark. Give it a good press. Lift, good. Now let's close this up so we don't stick our fingers in it. And I'm going to turn on my heat tool so it heats up. So it might get a little loud. And while that's heating up, I'm going to put my embossing powder onto my cardstock. And I'm going to sprinkle it generously. whatever, you know, falls into the tray, I can put back in my container here. So we'll set that aside. And with the paintbrush, if there's any little areas here where it might have gotten the embossing powder, you just brush those off. You know, you can't see that, but alright, and with the tweezers, you pick that up, hold it so you don't burn your fingers, and then we'll watch the magic happen. So you want to hold this about, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches away, and just keep it moving. You don't want to keep it in one area. There we go. I don't know if you see that, but it's starting to melt. And then it gets all nice and bubbly and shiny. I think that's good. Now then I like to hit it on the back a little as well. Again, keeping it moving just to flatten any edges. All right. You see the shine? Isn't that pretty? So we're going to set that aside just for a minute to let it cool down, because if I touch that right now, it might smudge still. All right, where is my, oh, it's right here. All right, I think that's probably good enough. All right, let's put some of our dimensionals behind here. So let's put this down right in the center, and this falls right back in the center. That was die cut at the same time we did the intricate die, so it cuts out the outer part, and then you have the inner piece as well. So then I'm going to adhere this right down here, and we'll put a couple of glue dots on the ends here, not glue dots, a dimensional. Got a big one here, and I think I need a mini one or one of these pieces on the other end. Here, and then I'll add glue to the center part. Then we will add some embellishments, and this card will be done. There we go. So for my embellishments, I decided, since I used the gold embossing powder, I'm going to use the brass butterflies and the pastel adhesive backed sequins. So where's my little tool here? I think I'm going to put a little butterfly here right on the flower, like so. And then we'll take a couple of these sequins and add them to the card. There. I think I want to add one more. Right about there. And there you go. That was a very quick and easy card to make, and so pretty. I think the embossing really adds so much detail to the card, don't you? So these are the other cards that I made. They're exactly the same design. They're just using different papers, different designer series paper. So let me know which one's your favorite. We've got the Evening Evergreen, the Pale Papaya, and Polished Pink. These colors will be retiring at the end of April to make room for our new in colors, which we don't know what they are yet, but soon we'll start getting little hints at what they are. It's a super easy fun fold, and make sure you share this with your friends, with your other crafting friends. Share the video with them. If you are interested in signing up for my newsletter, as I mentioned, the sign up information is in the description below the video. If you liked my video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought about it, and give it a try. All right, friends, until next time, have a great day. Happy stamping. Bye.